Hello all, very good morning. So we were discussing your Unit 5 in-service education program. So till yesterday we have seen regarding the in-service educational program, and today we are going to discuss the topic adult learning. So what is this adult learning means? Nothing but the education which is given to the adults. The education which is given to whom? To the adults. So educating these persons is called as what? Andragogy. Educating these persons is called as what? Andragogy. So here the term andragogy, it was coined in 19th century. It was coined in 19th century. So the term andragogy, it refers to the education of what? Adults. So the person who is known as Knowles, he referred as what? Father of adult learning. He is known as what? The father of adult learning. So Knowles, he defines andragogy as the art of science of helping the adults to learn. And he explained, he is the person who explained that the education of adult is a process of self-directed inquiry. It is a process of what? Self-directed inquiry. So the adult learning, it was the term which is coined by whom? Knowles. So he defined the andragogy as the arts of science which is helping the adults to learn, and it was coined in the 19th century. So here, unlike the routine education in adult learning, the participant, they are the persons who are deciding themselves what they want to learn, and they are entering into the learning process. Means they are mainly entering into the learning process through a task centered orientation. Through how? Task centered orientation. So here he is describing that adult learners are the persons who perform the best when asked to use their experience and also apply new knowledge to solve problems. So he is thinking that, he is saying that adult learners are the best persons. How? Means because they are deciding themselves to enter into a task oriented learning. So whenever they are entering into the task oriented learning, or whenever they want to learn some kind of topic, they have some kind of previous knowledge. So it could be from their work experience, it could be from their life experience, from anywhere, because they were already adults. They have seen great things in the back. So whenever they are applying their knowledge, whenever they have to solve a particular problem, they will bring a lot of aspects into the consideration. They will bring out their previous knowledge and they will mix it up with the new knowledge, and they will try to solve the program. So here the European Commission, it is defining the adult learning as all forms of learning undertaken by the adults after having a left initial education and training program. So nothing but here it is defining the adult learning program as what? Learning which is undertaken by the adults after having left their initial education. Once you have completed your initial education, once you have completed your initial training, means your regular education and regular training, afterwards you are stepping in yourself, means you are bringing yourself into a new situation where you want to learn some kind of new thing. So this one is called as what? Adult learning. This one is called as what? Adult learning. Now we'll see the principles of adult learning. So we have different types of principles of adult learning. First principle is like adult learners are self-directed. What is this point? The point itself is saying that adult learners are self-directed, means nobody is coming back of you, nobody is pushing you forward. It is your responsibility, it is your interest. So you are self-directed and you will actively participate in teaching as well as learning process. Next one is life experiences. What is this? Other principle means what? Life experience. So adult learners have life experiences, means it could be work related experience, it could be previous education. So these life experiences will enhance their abilities to guide the education, to guide their what? Education. So this is the other principle. And third principle is adult learning. The adult need learning to be relevant and practical. So whatever the learning thing is there, it should be practical oriented, and learning must be applicable to their work. So these are all some of the principles. Adults have their own learning style. So if you are a child, you will follow the teacher style of learning, but when you become an adult, you know your abilities, you know up to what extent you can understand and up to what extent you have to study, how your mental abilities, how your learning abilities, how your coping abilities. So based on your individual style, you are given preference, you will select your own way of learning and you will learn the new thing. Next one is goal oriented. So for adult learning means you have to select an educational program. It should be organized, well organized, and it should have definite objectives. It should have what? Clearly defined objectives. So the learners actively participate in learning process, and they will learn at their own pace. They will learn at their own pace means speed learning is there. And when there is goal oriented, they want to complete the task as early as possible. The next point, adult learners, they need what? An environment that enables them to assume the responsibilities. To assume what? Responsibility. So here adult learners, they need to determine their own goals, they need to determine their needs, they need to work collaboratively to achieve the goal. So they have to determine what is their own goal, because it is their own interest to study that particular topic, that particular course, and they are not pushed by anyone. They are bringing themselves into the particular situation. So they are task oriented and goal oriented. So they should determine what is their goal properly, what is their need properly, and if they have to work collaboratively, they have to work collaboratively to mainly achieve the goal. So whenever you are trying to learn, you should create what? Relaxed and physiologically safe climate with an environment of trust and mutual respect. So trust and mutual respect, it is very very important. You need to work properly. If your brain need to be relaxed and work properly, you should mutually respect each other, you should trust each other, then only you can go further. And teacher, they should act as what? Facilitator, guide, or a coach. And you have to give respect to the learner's idea. Even though you are being a teacher, if anybody is giving you any kind of idea, if it is applicable, you have to take it into consideration. If it is not suitable, you can simply reject it with proper respect and with proper gesture. Next one is introduce them to the new opportunities as well as experience. You have, it is your responsibility to introduce them to do what? New opportunities. You have to give new opportunities, you have to give what? New experience, and guide learners in developing learning strategies, and you have to identify resources. So here whatever the learning process, even though they are self-oriented, even though they are self-directed, you can teach them the new learning strategies, you can teach them the new learning experiences, so that they will improve and they will develop their learning strategies based on the resources that were available, and introduce them to the new opportunities and what? New experiences. So if you see Noel, he has 5 assumptions of learning adult learners. So first one is self concept, second one is adult learner experience, third one is readiness to learn, fourth one is orientation to learning, and fifth one is motivation to learn. So we'll see what is the self concept. So as a person is achieving, means as a person is getting matured, he or herself, means they will have what some kind of self concept. So from being dependent personality, they will try to become an independent individual. So here if you see, they move from one of being a dependent personality towards one of being a self-directed human being, means from being dependent to being independent. So this is what a self concept is meant for. And next one is adult learning experience. So when a person is matured, he or she accumulates a growing reservoir of experience, so it becomes an increasing resource for learning. So whatever the experiences there, all the experiences are kept in one place. Whenever a new challenge is coming, based on the previous experience that is acquired before, based on the previous life experience or work experience, they will apply it to the condition and they will bring out the solution. Next one is readiness to learn. When a person is maturing, they are always ready to learn. They're always what? Ready to learn, and becomes oriented increasingly to develop tasks mainly towards his or her social role. So this is what the readiness to learn means. Anything new is coming, they'll show interest and they'll try to learn. Next one is orientation to learning. So when a person is mature, their perspective changes from one of postponed application of knowledge to immediacy of application. Nothing but whenever you are mature, if you are a child, you will say, okay, I won't learn today, let it be tomorrow. But when you become an adult, when the time comes, you will say, yes, I have to do it today. And accordingly his or her orientation towards learning shifts from one of the subject centeredness to the one of the problem centeredness. So whenever you are a small kid, whenever you are not an adult, then you are always directed towards the subject. You are always directed toward the subject. But when you become an adult, your thinking, your application is always directed towards the problem solving. Next one is motivation to learn. So as a person is maturing, the motivation is to learn is internal. So coming to the Noel's four principles of andragogy. So we have seen assumptions of adult learners. Now we'll see the principles of andragogy. Nothing means principles of adult learning. So the full name of this Noels is Malcolm Noel. So he is known as the father of adult learning. So in 1984, he suggested like four principles. So the first principle is adults need to be involved in the planning and evaluation of their instruction. And the second principle is experience provides the basis for the learning activities. Third one is adults are the most interested in learning subjects that have immediate relevance and impact on their job or personal life. And fourth principle is adult learning is problem centered rather than content oriented. So I'll explain you what is the first principle. Adults need to be involved in planning and evaluation of their own instruction. So they are needed to be involved in their planning as well as evaluation. The next one is experience. What is that experience? It means nothing but previous mistakes that they have done or previous successes or previous situations that they have encountered. They are providing basis for the learning activities. Means previously they had done something, they had followed a particular procedure which has been not worked. Now the procedure will work so that the procedure which is failed in the past will be not taken into the consideration. They will go for other procedures so that you can achieve a good result. Next one is adults. So whenever any learning thing, any new thing which is helping them to change their position, it could be job or it could be personal life, automatically they are showing more and more interest. Means they are ready to go and take and they are ready to accept the change in their life. And adult learning, almost it is always the problem solving. It is always towards the problem but not towards the content. So these are all four principles of andragogy. What are the characteristics of adult learners? Means adult learners are what? Self-directed. Life experience enhances the ability of adult learners and guide their own education. Means nothing but the previous experiences that are there in the past, they will help them to make correct decision and they will help them to learn the new things and they will help them to choose. Means they will help them to self-direct themselves. And fourth one is adult learners work collaboratively to achieve goals because they know single person cannot achieve everything. So they work collaborate. Collaboration is always important in learning. And the fourth point is adult learners have work related experience. So they have already working in the particular situation. Since they want to improve themselves, they are coming for learning. So when a new thing is coming, whatever the past experience is there, whatever the past idea is there, they will try to apply it and they will try to understand more and more. So characteristics of adult learners according to Jackson and Caffarella 1994. So these are some of the points given by this Jackson and Caffarella. So adult learners have life experience that serve as rich sources of what? Learning. Adults have their own learning style. As we are discussing, adults are more likely to prefer being actively involved in learning process. We have seen this point also. Adults are supportive to each other, nothing but collaborative to each other. Adults have an individual responsibilities and life situations that provide context for learning. As I'm saying, everybody is having individual responsibility. When you grown up, you have your own responsibility. You have your own life situation. So this one is motivating you to learn a new thing. Adult learning cycle. So it has like four cycles. First phase is experience, second phase is processing, third one is generalizing, and fourth one is applying. Doing, reflecting, deriving, and taking action. This is adult learning cycle. So what are the factors that are affecting adult learning? Means first one is hands-on. So adults always wanted to involve in training process. So they would rather do or perform than simply sit and watch. So even a demonstration will not be effective as they are doing it oneself. Means nothing but what are the factors that are affecting? Means adults they always want to involve in the training process. They want to do. So they do not want to sit simply and they do not want to observe what are they. They want to involve themselves and they want to do something. Even though you are demonstrating, they won't accept it. They want to do it by their own self. So although providing hands-on experience takes more time and preparation, the results are well worth in effectiveness and increased implementation. Next, next one is active involvement. So means whenever they are training, they can tune themselves. So sitting passively opens the door to daydreaming or worrying about the outside responsibility. So if you're not actively involved, even though you are in the classroom, if you are not listening to my class, now I'm teaching you since like half an hour or 15, 20 to 25 minutes. If you are not listening to my class, after listening for 5 to 10 minutes, if you are thinking about something, your brain will go to some other place and it will come back again. So that is what happens. So there will be some other problem which is there in your mind, it will come into action. So many adults have few opportunities to talk with others about their work related concerns or experience. So in order to bring out this active involvement, so these are all some of the factors that are influencing the adult learning. So you have to involve them actively so that they're not daydreaming, means their brain is not passed to other areas. Performance feedback, nothing but whatever the performance is being done by the adult, you have to take the feedback. So you have to take the instructor and support them through recognition of their own efforts and performance, which will help them in the effective training. Which will help them in what? Effective training. So most adults need what? Reassurance. So whenever they are attempting, if they are not succeeding, you have to give them reassurance that it will be done. So if not, they will become inconsistent, and without any kind of expectation, they will let themselves down. So you should not do like that. You have to go for performance feedback. You have to give them reassurance if they're failing. You should make sure that the goal is being reached by the person. Next one is movement. So adult will need opportunities to move around either through instructor planned activities or through their own choices. And adults become conditioned to frequent changes. So whenever you are giving frequent changes, they will become conditioned and change the type of activity often and schedule activities and breaks to allow the movement. Means you should not make them like sit in one place from morning till evening, giving some lectures, giving some work, giving some kind of pressure on them. It will not work. You have to allow them the movement. Repetition and reinforcement, nothing but adults need what? Opportunities to repeat their task or to have ideas or to repeat their reinforced learning and skills. So part is you have to practice the important of learning, but it should not be consistent, boring and drill. So nothing but you should give practice, but it should not be boring. You should provide reinforcement, incorporating the same information or skill in different ways through a variety of activities. Next one is standards of staff development program according to the American Nurses Association. So this will be like 5 or 9 standards we have. The first standard is organizational administration. So the nursing department and nursing staff development unit. So philosophy, purpose, it should be goals. It should address the staff and development needs of nursing person. Next one is human resources. So qualified administrative person should be there. Educational and support personnel should be provided mainly to meet the learning as well as developmental needs by the nursing service personnel. Third one is learner. So nursing staff development educator, they should assist the nursing personnel in identifying their learning needs and planning learning activities to meet those needs which were having deficiencies. And fourth one is program planning. So it provides the unit systematically. It helps them to plan and evaluate overall nursing staff development in the response to healthcare needs. And fifth one is educational design. So education offering and learning experience are designed through the use of educational process. Sixth one is standard. And the sixth one is material resources and facilities. So what are the material that are available, what are the resources that are available, and what are the facilities that are available? They will help. So material resources and facilities are adequate to achieve the goals and implement the function of overall nursing staff development unit. Are there or not? You have to see. Seventh one is reports. Seventh one is what? Records and reports. The nursing staff develop unit establishes and maintains the record keeping system. So whatever the things are being done in the ward, they should be kept in a record system. Next one is evaluation. Nothing but what is the outcome, what is whether the process that is being adapted is success or not. Ninth one is consultation. 10th one is climate, and 6th one is systematic inquiry. We'll see what is consultation. The nursing staff development, educators use a consultation process to facilitate and enhance the achievement of individual, departmental and organizational goals. 10th one is like here the nursing staff development educators foster a climate which promote open communication, means they were bringing out an environment which allows them to speak, which allowed them to open their self and learning and professional, which will help in learning as well as professional growth. And what is systematic inquiry means encourage systematic inquiry and application of result in nursing practice. Whatever the result is coming through the education, you have to apply this knowledge in the practice. So with this, I would like to end the session. If you like the content, please like, share and subscribe. If you have any queries, please drop them in the comment box. I'll try to teach you. I'll try to correct myself. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching.